into the NFL on EA Sports. Every wide receiver in the NFL wants to be a top target, and two players will be trying to be that today. It's Tate's Lions going up against Hilton's Colts. So with that, we'll send you up to the Hoosier State and Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis as we say hello to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, thank you very much. We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Detroit Lions and the Indianapolis Colts. And we say hi again, everybody. Brandon Gaudin here as we count down to kickoff. I turn to my partner, that's Charles Davis. And Charles, Larry pointed out in the open, we've got a pretty good matchup of wide receivers here this afternoon, don't we?
And those guys have such a big impact on the game nowadays. We know it's a throwing game, but the guys who can go up and get it, the guys who can break tackles after the catch and make bigger plays, oh yeah, they love spotlight as well. They want the football, they want the attention.
Here's the punter, Sam Martin, now ready to get us started. Two teams more than ready to get this one started. This is fielded at the goal line. And there's a flag on the field. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
Illegal block in the back. Return team. Automatic first down.
Hands this one off to Gore. And he's going to be stopped here on this first play as he gets it to the line of scrimmage and no more. And Charles, Frank Gore in his 12th year, a popular question preseason-wise for the Colts has been who's going to back up Gore. Well, they did pick up Stephen Ridley, who got cut by Detroit.
But his skills really translate to what they're trying to do in Indianapolis. He can run the ball, but he can catch it out of the backfield, which really helps out Andrew Luck as a safety valve. But how about Robert Turbin, a big, strong, physical runner who started his career in Seattle? And Josh Ferguson, a guy I really liked coming out of the draft. No one drafted him. Undrafted free agent, but he's had a nice preseason.
And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
They come up in an offset eye. The second-year man from Nebraska, it's Amir Abdullah. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. So we've reached the end of a fairly even first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. We'll return after this message. You're watching the NFL, and it's right here on EA Sports.
The NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2, but they face a second and long to start things out. Here's Stafford now on second down. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that'll make it third down. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. So completion on second down. That brings up third. Third and 2, Stafford. And he connects with Ebron. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout. And now they get set to line up as we resume action. First down at Stafford. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The 5-time Pro Bowler, Robert Mathis, in there to get him for a loss of 5. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's second and long. The final shot before the break. Stafford to the right side to Eric Ebron. So plenty of action on the field, but no action right now on the scoreboard, at least as of yet. Nothing is our score. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back now at the scoreless first half. It's a 0-0 game at half, so both sides obviously love their defense and hate their offense. Moving forward, we'll just have to see if it's the first to score that wins. All right, let's roll the highlights. Same drive, Stafford's completion is made out of the gun, and it's going to end up going for a gain of 7. Now later on the drive, Mathis has got the sack here. This will go as a loss of 5. Lions now later on the drive. Stafford's got the completion from the gun, and he ends up at their own 41-yard line before he's stopped on the play. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. No points in this one yet. But we'll hand it back over to a man who's always on point. That's Brandon Guy.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. Spinning past him. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. There are 0 points on the scoreboard for either side. It'll be interesting to see what adjustments were made. The defenses have obviously been great.
So if you like defense, this is a classic game. This is what you're looking for. But now you're trying to figure out how to gain any type of an advantage on offense. Is it through a big chunk play that they haven't seen before? Or is it just running your regular offense and running it better, trying to create an opportunity?
We'll see which avenue they choose to go down. A second down run for Abdullah. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. So both teams scoreless here as we're through 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Indianapolis as we are set to bring you the home stretch here, the 4th quarter. Well, time not on their side here. In fact, a lot going against them. They do have a small glimmer of hope.
No one likes to play extra football. They want to go for the win right now.
Now Stafford. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. Here's Sam Martin now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Following the penalty, it's Gore. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. 4 yards there on the carry, gets it back to 2nd and 11. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. They'll stick to the ground game with Gore. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. So 3rd and 15 and an extra defensive back in the game now.
Flooding the passing lanes.
They'll run. This is Robert Turbin. And he'll get it up here. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Here's Pat McAfee now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Lions will take over. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. A tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Stafford now to throw. It's complete to Golden Tate. And he's brought down. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. And quickly they get to the line. Now it's Stafford. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. Eric Ebron, the big tight end, is intended target. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Stafford now to throw. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darius Butler. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And we have free football overtime. Here we go, my friend.
And the way this game played out, this is exactly how it should end. Going to overtime because neither one got an advantage today.
And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. They set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going down.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here in overtime. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout, and now we're set to get going. First throw in overtime for Locke. Looking for Allen. He's got him on the slant. It's a gain of 7, and just like that, it's third down.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
Well, they get the completed pass, but still have more to go here on third down. Again, we'll see the pistol here. They'll try and pick up the first with Gore. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that will be their 3rd and final in this overtime session. And as they talk it over, we take a break. We'll be right back. So it'll be first down here after the run. Gore back there is the lone setback. He'll get it running right. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Well, how about this? The very, very rare tie that we just witnessed. Hard to believe.
You don't see it very often. A bonus period of football, yet both teams go home a little bit unsatisfied.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.